Hey guys, it's JailbreakerUs141 coming to you with a review on the iPad 3 or the new iPad. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it with the specs. Now, the specs are that it has a Retina display, which will help with the seeing apps and seeing everything on the iPad clearer. And if you've ever had an iPad 2 and you hit the ×2 button on it to play an iPhone app, it becomes really fuzzy and not even worth it. But if you have an iPad 3 with the Retina display, it will make it crystal clear, just like the smaller version. So the A5, my bad, processor chip, which will make the graphics tremendously better. It has a 5 megapixel camera, which is, I think, 3 megapixels under the iPhone's camera. Not for sure. Better video recording, of course. It has a Siri voice dictation, which is basically you tap on it if you're going to write something with the keypad, or type something, I mean, and it'll say what you want it. You say something, and it will write it down onto the iPad. So that's kind of cool, but I prefer if they add Siri personally. But it has 3G and 4G. It has a 10-hour battery life, 9 on 4G. It is thicker only because the Retina display has to have more space to function. So it doesn't really make a difference because an iPad is an iPad no matter what way you kind of try and put it. But the iOS 5.1. Now, for right now, the iPad 3, iPad 2, and the iPhone 4S cannot be jailbroken on 5.1, I don't think. So when they are available, I will make a video on that. But, so the iPad 3 has some pretty good specs, but it doesn't really live up to the expectations that I've personally been kind of waiting for. And, I mean, if you think about it, if you had a choice to get an iPad 3 or an iPad 2 as a present, of course you'd get the iPad 3. But if you were to go out and buy an iPad 2 or an iPad 3, I would prefer getting an iPad 2 because you can jailbreak and get Retina display just as easily without the iPad 3. And that takes out one of its key features, which is the screen's better. And the only thing I've seen on the iPad 3 so far that's better is the screen and the camera. That's about it. So all you have left is the camera. So, I mean, I would suggest not buying the iPad 3. I would suggest getting the iPad 2, but if you were to get it as a gift, I would suggest getting the iPad 3. But, I mean, it doesn't really live... Apple has not really been living up to the standards that I was expecting since Steve Jobs died. Now, if you look at the facts, you have the iPhone 4 compared to the 3GS. The 3GS was a great iPhone. Everybody thought that you couldn't add anything more. But if you look at the iPhone 4, a whole new design, a front-facing camera, FaceTime, it had folders, it had all this new stuff in it compared to the iPad 3. And then when Steve Jobs died, you had the iPhone 4S, which had Siri, a better screen, and camera. Personally, I don't think that's enough to put into an iPhone. I mean, I can tell that you're trying to kind of recuperate from the death of Steve Jobs, but I mean, the iPad 3, they've had long enough to kind of perfect it. I can understand the iPhone 4S, but I kind of was expecting something new with the iPad 3. Maybe a full screen on the iPad instead of a border, kind of have the whole iPad as a screen, but, you know, you can't change the past. So, yep, that's my review of the iPad 3. So, like this video, subscribe, leave a comment below of your opinions, and which do you prefer, the iPad 3 or the iPad 2? So, this is Jailbreaker Us. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time.